you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to procrastination, and we're talking about lack of clarity, that happens like when you're unsure about what exactly needs to be done, or why you're doing it, or how to get started. That's normally where you realize that you lack some clarity. Like, imagine if I give you a jigsaw puzzle, Steve, without the picture. How are you supposed to know what pieces that going together if you don't know what the picture
We
is?
just take it and we match it. That one look like it will fit there. That one. So,
Okay, but how long you think that's going to take you without the picture?
Forever, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that is what happens when you actually lack clarity. Everything seems to be off. Everything seems to be confusing. It makes it easy for you to delay doing things because you're not clear of exactly where you want to go. And in addition to that, you also sometimes avoid the task itself too. Almost like emotional avoidance, but you feel stuck.
Yeah.
You feel lost. So you just figure, well, if there's too many unknowns or too many instructions missing, like, where is the instruction manual?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do that?
Lack of clarity.
Lack of clarity. And clarity, let me tell you, clarity is my thing. Because I just feel like if you don't know where you're going, how will you know when you get there? So when it comes to procrastination, and we're talking about lack of clarity, that happens like when you're unsure about what exactly needs to be done, or why you're doing it, or how to get started. That's normally where you realize that you lack some clarity. Like, imagine if I give you a jigsaw puzzle, Steve, without the picture. How are you supposed to know what pieces that going together if you don't know what the picture is?
We just take it and we match it. That one look like it will fit there. That one. So,
okay, but how long you think that's going to take you without the picture?
Forever, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that is what happens when you actually lack clarity. Everything seems to be off. Everything seems to be confusing. It makes it easy for you to delay doing things because you're not clear of exactly where you want to go. And in addition to that, you also sometimes avoid the task itself too. Almost like emotional avoidance, but you feel stuck.
Yeah.
You feel lost. So you just figure, well, if there's too many unknowns or too many instructions missing, like, where is the instruction manual?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do that? So by default, your body would obviously just ignore the task itself because you don't know how you're starting.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
We don't know. I find that so relatable.
That's one sign. Another sign is analysis paralysis, where you're spending too much time planning, researching, instead of actually doing the task. Hoping to get like the perfect start.
Why did I know?
You guys hear a clear fruit? Because I heard a clear fruit on my end.
Okay, I kind of knew that was coming there.
Because I heard a fruit clear there. I just want to make sure everybody that listening here that the fruit clear at the same time. So analysis, paralysis. So you're spending a lot of time doing research.
I kind of like the sound of that. I like that it kind of rhymes, analysis paralysis. But I also know that this is a bad thing.
It is.
It's a bad thing.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It basically means that you're giving yourself too much information that you actually do nothing. So you take in so much that you actually don't do anything.
So getting all of that information, whilst knowledge is power and it can help you move forward, it can also cause
you to be paralyzed, you'll be stuck.
Yeah.
Because you just have too much information. So now you have information overload and you're like, you right back to square one. Even if you have actually all the tools, there's so much data that you collected that you probably didn't need to at the time.
Yes.
So rather than just starting, you figure, okay, you know what, I have to do this. I have to know the entire process. And then now that you know the entire process, you know what happens? Your brain then pile that on top of how to start. So you forget how to start already.
Right.
All you're just watching is the ending and you figure, but how did I get to there? And you know what happens again? You go back and research for you to see
And
How do you get back?
And sometimes doing all of that research causes a level of confusion,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just find yourself
Right back on the hamster
just on
wheel.
the loop.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That is definitely a sign of lack of clarity. Another one is a low energy. You have low energy to do that. Like you drop this big sigh like I have to do that today. Like I don't feel like I have the energy to do that today. And normally you have low energy because you're not connected to what you're doing. You don't know why you're doing it. So that also ties with no motivation, sorry. So you're not motivated to do the task either. Because if you seeing that the task is pointless or you feel disconnected with it and you're not sure, but why am I actually doing that? Then you're not going to do it because you don't feel compelled to actually do it that much.
Yeah.
Versus, when you actually want to do this, you figure, okay, I want to do this because of X. I want to do this because of Y. So you have a reason, so that drives you because it's kind of clear now. And like I like to tell with my clients, my famous line is starting to see the shape of the animal. So you get some clarity. You understand? We're starting to see what animal we're drawing there. Is it an elephant? Is it a giraffe? Is it a bird? We're starting to get clear on what it is that we're actually trying to do.
Okay. Great.
So clarity, I feel like not just in procrastination, just in life in general, gaining clarity is so important, Steva, and we miss that part, because sometimes when you have my clients and I'll ask a question as to why did you want to do this or why did you do that, right? Sometimes when you listen to the reasoning, it makes you realize that they're not even sure exactly what it is that they're trying to do. And that's why we do a lot of clarity exercise. And one of the big ones for me is getting connected with why you want to do it. Why do you want to do it? Rather than just being a generalized answer, that's what kind of leads to procrastination. So, for example, you can ask somebody to talk about their heart's desire, like what do they really want? Why do you want this? And 90% of the times, it's a generalized response.
Okay.
So, for example, they'll be like, I want wealth and happiness. And then you'll be like, okay, so what does wealth and happiness mean to you? And then they'll be like, well, not to be sick. You realize that's a generalized response. Yeah. So you'll be like, okay, so what does wealth mean to you then? Well, not to be lacking anything. That's not very specific. That's not lacking anything of what, why, for what reason. Another one would be, okay, so what does happiness mean to you since you say you want happiness? Well, not to be sad or to be dissatisfied. It's still not really clear to me why you actually want to be happy, why you want wealth, why you want health. So what happens is there's a lot of, rather than pointing out the picture itself of what they want in it, you realize there's a lot of what I don't want. So they mention, well, I don't want to be sick, but you don't say why you want the wellness.
Okay.
Right? I want the wellness because I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to feel good. I want to look good. That's a more specific reason. That's a clearer clarity. Right? Okay, you don't want to lack. You don't want to lack what? You want to not know. You want to lack being able to live the life that you want, or be able to at least have financial freedom. Have something more to what you want, and that actually helps you with clarity. Also, like, happiness, you don't want to be sad. Okay, you don't want to be sad. Why? Because I enjoy happy me. Happy me, you understand? Just like, there's a saying, I love drunk me. Drunk me is not shy. I'm sure, I don't know if you've seen that meme where it's somewhat trending right now, and a lot of females are like, I like drunk me. Drunk me, she's not shy. She's confident. She's, So, at least if you heard something like, I like happy me because she is full of life. She is blossoming. She is energetic. Getting down to, your clarity is what's important, because therefore clarity will give you direction.
Okay.
Right? So there you would know, okay, deep down why you want it. It also boosts your confidence. So you know what you're working towards, so automatically you'll feel more confident. Like, you know, okay, this is what I'm going to get by this time frame. And then you figure, yeah. And then when you do it, I pull that off. I did that.
Okay. Okay.
I did that because you clear. It also makes decision making easier when you have clarity. So to do this or not to do this. Okay, I'll do this because this is what I actually want to do. This is what I like. This is my passion. This makes me feel good. Versus doing this. I'm not even sure why I'm doing this. Steve told me to do this, so I'm doing this. It's a whole different motivation when you're actually connected. You're clear on what you're actually doing.
Okay, so just a quick question here.
Yes.
So, what role does self-doubt have in this topic here?
In terms of it will come in more closer to emotional avoidance because you're not believe in yourself. It might not tie too much to clarity because you cannot really doubt if you don't know what you're doing. If you're not sure why you want to do it or what's really happening, then you cannot really doubt yourself. You're more going to avoid the task or just somewhat feel stuck.
I see.
Yeah, you feel stuck, you feel lost, you figure you don't know what's your next steps, what's expected of you. Like you feel like you should be doing something, but you just don't know what the something is.
I feel like with this one here, it's easy for you to sit down and start feeling as if you're not that intelligent.
Right. And you figure, okay, everybody has it figured out. No, let me tell you all a secret. They just did a little clarity. They just try to understand why they want the things that they want.
Yeah.
And they just move a little, they just made one step closer versus us that's just not too clear. Because sometimes, too, the purpose of the clarity exercise as well is the simple exercise I'll be giving you guys. In terms of doing some clarity mapping. So we're going to look at whatever tasks that you're doing right now that you've been avoiding. And I want you to ask yourself some clarity questions on it. So like, why do I want this? That sounds like an obvious question, but sometimes the why, we don't even know why we want it.
Yeah, but sometimes even after you've answered the why, you still have to ask yourself why again. Not because the why was the incorrect answer, but the why has more to it.
Exactly. And then another one you would ask yourself too is, what is important? Why is this important? That's another why you could ask. Because why you could want it could be for various reasons. I've known people to want things simply because they want Steve to know that they have it. They personally don't want it, They just want to be able to, for Steve to say that they have it. They might not even use it.
Right.
It's not serving no purpose to them.
Right.
But the reason why they want it, just to be able for others to acknowledge that they have it.
Okay.
So therefore the follow-up question would be, why is it important? Now most times if you realize that you want it just because you want somebody else to know you have it, you're going to realize it's not important. Yeah. The reason why you want it, not important. Another question to ask yourself on that same task you're avoiding is this your dream or somebody else's? That one is a deep one. You have to sit with that one. Because sometimes family, friends can project what they want on you.
That is true.
And you might be like, okay, I like this passion, but then your parent might be like, no, but I told you I want you to be this profession, and then you find yourself in this profession, and you have doctors, nurses telling you after 20 years of practice they're doing something completely different, and then you see like it's completely opposite from what they've been doing for the past 20 years.
Right.
Because they realize that was not their dream. That was either the parent dream, that was either the friend dream, either some other family member that told them that would be a good idea, so they figure they pursue it because
Yeah.
this
And
is what they
and they're not passionate
and they're not
about it, and
passionate
they're
about
just
it.
they're there and they're
And I feel
miserable.
like this one is this one is a heavy one
Yes.
because sometimes we do a lot because of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore your clarity will always be foggy because you're not doing it for you.
Yes.
And I posted a video where I said we live in the perception of others. We are not who we think we are. We are who we think others think we are. So I am who I think Steve thinks I am. So that's how you get yourself caught up in living somebody else's dream versus trying to do your own.
Right.
And another question to ask yourself in terms of that task that you're avoiding, are you settling for less than you deserve? Or are you settling? Or is this it? Because sometimes the reason why you're lacking clarity is because you're not feeling like your values are tied to what you're getting. So therefore you're not really motivated. And then sometimes it's because you're settling. You're doing it because you figure that's what you're supposed to do, or you're doing it to people please.
Right.
So therefore you're not too motivated about it. You have low energy, you have low motivation for it.
Okay.
And once you've actually finally done all of those questions, by the time you actually done that, you will get some clarity on that task that you've been avoiding. You realize why you want to do it. Is it because of somebody else that you're doing it? Is it somebody else's dream or yours? You'll understand, is it important? You'll also understand, are you settling for less than you deserve? Because if our values are not feeling respected or valued in what exactly that we're doing, we're not very motivated to do it.
Okay, so how would you be able to, reflecting is important in this, to find the clarity, but how do you differentiate between a healthy reflection and overthinking?
As for the that's a nice question.
That's a nice question.
That is a nice question.
I asked a nice question, y'all.
You see, now you realize these were how many questions we had there? We had 4 questions, if I can remember clearly. You see the moment you're stuck on one question and you haven't found yourself to the next one yet, and you realize you have paragraphs and paragraphs of information or scenarios, that's when you realize you're starting to overthink. Because as much as these questions should require you to think, it doesn't require you to dig so deep for you to know
Okay, so
it's important to you or not.
We just need the basic questions. I think I think we learned this in school as well. Who, when, why, where,
yes,
how, right? Miss Gabriel, big you up.
This is where you also get analysis paralysis, because we overthink the process without actually starting to do anything. We figure we need all the information. That's why those simple questions have this big impact.
Right.
Simple as, why is it important, Steve? Why you want it? When you sit down and you figure out why you want it, you're going to realize, hey, maybe it's for a magic reason I actually want that. Like, I don't really want that. Or you realize, okay, is that my dream? Like, where did the idea of me doing this come from?
Yeah,
who told me that? And you might be like, oh, you know, it was my uncle that was telling me he thought me being a pilot was a good idea, even if I knew I wanted to be an artist. Is when you sit with those simple questions, it will take you back just enough.
Right.
Because the questions are simple. So the moment you find yourself digging deeply into this and you figure somewhat of, you're now realizing you're not really answering now. You have more questions than answers, and you're starting to overthink. Because these questions are simplified.
Yeah.
Just enough to give you what you need for you to move the needle.
For action time.
Just for action time. Because procrastination is the no action, and all we're trying to do is to get you to move. So you watch this task that you've been avoiding, you take your little 4 questions, you answer your questions. I can guarantee, like they say, I can put my money where my mouth is. After these 4 questions, you will decide, and it will be clear to you what to do next. It could be that you forget about that goal completely.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that you realize that there are smaller steps that you could actually take for you to do it, that you're overthinking the process and realizing, oh, but then I could actually have just done this, or I could have started already. So let me just start this today.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, you're going to actually start beating that procrastination for that task, and before you know it, it's going to be completed.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Next. So I am so ready for you to do your homework. I just like when you do your homework.
Yes.
I like when you do your homework.
I like it too. I like it too. I like it too. Yes. No, because
So-
it feels good to actually do something, like put it down on the list and actually cross it off.
Yes.
Get it done.
It
Yeah.
it is. So I think these questions, and I picked those questions specifically just because of the frequency I realize in us millennials.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us are trying to find our purpose. A lot of us are trying to understand where we are right now. A lot of us are trying to figure out what are we doing next, why we want to do what we want to do next. Or we have some goals and we're trying to figure out, but these goals have been sitting on there from since 2016, 2015, 2014.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're trying to figure out, okay, so like, okay, it's not that I didn't have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I didn't have the time.
Right.
It's not like maybe somebody didn't offer. So why didn't I do it? And these questions will tell you why you didn't do it. Because you ask yourself now, why do I want it?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one, is it your dream or somebody else's own?
Right.
And just through that, you would get clear on that task, and then you'd be able to see something that you could do. Something as for example, let's say you're trying to maybe do your bachelor's, and your bachelor's is costly.
Mm-hmm.
But all you have right now is your CXCs, and you're thinking you have to dive straight into the bachelor's, and you realize finances wise, time wise, you cannot do it. There are certificate courses that you could do. And depending on where you're doing the bachelor's, because you did those certificate courses along the way, you get exempted for how long you have to do the bachelor's. So you end up getting credits.
That's right.
And all you did was a certification course that was cheaper.
I see.
Also, if it's a case where the same bachelor's scenario and you figure you don't have finances, but you did that certificate course, so now you're more marketable because you have a new certification. So therefore you can apply for another job that most likely has a higher salary. Higher salary will help you to do another certification, and then you continue climbing, and then the next thing you know it, you would have achieved that goal.
Right.
I've heard people say, well, I'm 30 years already, and then it's going to take me 2 years to complete that course. But let's be realistic. In 2 years, whether you do the course or not, you're going to be 32.
Woo.
So it's either you 32 with a certification,
Yes.
or you 32 complaining that you're 32 without a certification.
Okay. All right. All right. Like Sarah is giving us our business, people. No, but these are serious questions you need to ask. Some self-reflection. We all need to ask ourselves these questions, to move forward. Because it's very easy to end up in a loop, to find yourself in a loop.
It is.
And it's frustrating
easy.
too.
It's very easy. And one thing that I'm hoping that the show does for everybody is to show you simple ways that you can make changes. I'm not big on the complicated paths. I'm not big on the complicated paths. I'm not big on choosing the hard way. If that's your thing, big up you.
I've been seeing this meme pop up quite often lately, and it simply says, "Choose your hard."
Right. But then my hard can be the simple hard, because you don't necessarily have to do the difficult route. And I strongly believe that. I also believe that you can make some tasks enjoyable. It doesn't have to be this strenuous stuff that's on your back, and you figure, oh my gosh, I have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So you already, let's say you're probably trying to lose some weight, so you're already going to start cutting out your favorite food, so you're already uncomfortable. You go and decide, you read online tell you 5 o'clock is the best time to wake up. So you're not a morning person. So you see that you have to wake up 5 o'clock, you're sacrificing your sleep. So you're already mad about that.
Right.
So that's 2 things you're mad about already, eh? But you want to lose the weight. And you figure that's the only way. Then you go and you sign up for the gym, and you're like, weightlifting is not your thing. You feel completely, you beat up yourself about the process because you're not satisfied with your workouts.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways for you to exercise. You could do walking, and you can do walking at a comfortable day and time for you. And if you enjoy walking, then you can go ahead and do it. It will give you this. It might give you the same results. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're passionate about what you're doing. You enjoy doing it. So you're going to do it
you find
more
a different way.
versus something that you're uncomfortable to. Whether it is that you like dancing, you could end up for the
Exactly.
is it Zumba, right? Zumba classes.
Right.
So you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going and do the 5 o'clock gym time that's just not working for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already doing the 5 o'clock, you're already sacrificing your favorite foods, please, sis, so do an exercise that you enjoy. At least add a little enjoyment into it.
Well, my favorite way to work out would be, when I leave work, I take a walk.
Right.
I quite enjoy that. People have offered, hey, let me give you a... No, I'm good. I love the walk. I love doing the walk over.
Right.
I really enjoy that. I don't know, in the thighs, it feels great, you know? And then when I'm cleaning at home, hey, I blast in the soca. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and that's my thing too, because I'm not big on chores neither. I mean, I like to do a lot of chores, but ironing is not my favorite. I'm going to be quite honest.
I don't think... Are there people out there who actually enjoy
They
ironing?
yes, they have people that enjoy ironing. Maybe it's because we have to iron our clothes and uniforms, and I don't know what it is. But for me, maybe I need to do a clarity exercise as to why don't I like to iron.
Hey.
So when it gets to the ironing, I get into the zone.
Right.
I make it enjoyable, so I have my whole playlist. I'm singing, I'm ironing away, I'm in the motion.
Right.
And before I realize it, all my clothes are ironed.
Yeah.
It's no longer this dreaded task that I figure is going to take me an hour. Sometimes I finish in half an hour. Simply because I added some enjoyment through the process.
You know, I get exactly what you're saying. I definitely do understand what you're saying. But let me tell you, nothing makes ironing a faster.
Just try it. Even add some, and you see the same way you add your music to all your other chores.
Right.
Add it to ironing.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
We have to try something.
Try it, add it to ironing, because I always tell my clients life is too short to live unhappy. And on the flip side, life is too long to live unhappy. So either way, we always have to come back to self-happiness. We always have to come back to personal success. We always have to come back to balance. We always have to come back to mastering your mindset.
Hello.
Yes.
Right here on Rhythm 95.5 during the Super Drive Time. That's right.